guys and girls, this is Flavored, and you know what? This is yet another daily PvP video, and we're going to be watching a Sotar ranked Warzone. Some of you might let out a sigh of relief when I tell you it's not going to be a hot ball. But then again, stop for a second and think that you told me not to do any more videos of basically the best Warzone any MMO RPG has to offer these days, because definitely Hotball is the best. But anyway, this time it's going to be the Voidstar, something that we haven't seen for a while, and we'll be going to the Prophecy of the Five for this game. You know, today, Prophecy of the Five is one of the 3 major hubs for Sotar PvP, so if you live in the eastern US or somewhere close, you would definitely want to roll a character on that server, because all the PvPers from every other Eastern US server transferred here, so this is where all the action is taking place. And you know what? This game is pretty damn special, simply because it was broadcasted in private. So unless you participated in this game, you have no other means of seeing it, unless of course you are here on my channel with daily PvP. I kind of sneaked on Kate's stream and was able to see quite a few amazing games, and this is one of these games, and I'm going to be commentating on it right now. So anyway, this is going to be a Voidstar between 2 teams. None of them are natives to Prophecy of the Five, though. One of these teams is Infinite Darkness. We've seen them already on PTS in particular. They are from the Shadowlands, and they've shown us quite a few great games against the Nostrum Dolus. Definitely a top level team, at least they used to be. Not sure how they are now. They will be going against, though, and that's more important here, against Lethal Dose 50 from Jedi Covenant. We've seen several of their games. I've seen more, but commentated on a few. I personally found pretty good. And unfortunately all of these games were losses. Hopefully Lethal Dose 50 will be able to change this today. I don't know, we will see. But I personally feel they can compete against Infinite Darkness for sure. They are pretty damn good as well. But anyway, let's quickly look at the setups both of these teams have to offer right now. And one thing to note here is these specs are only temporary. There will be a lot of respecking going on in this Warzone. It will be very flexible and very unpredictable, and you will see it for yourself. For example, Infinite Darkness will be starting out with 2 Carnage Marauders. This is definitely bound to change. At the same time, Lethal Dose 50 has a strong healing setup of 2 Scoundrels. And I don't know, there is so much, there will be so much going on, and the game has already started, but of course, since it's going to be the first blows to be traded here, let's talk about a little bit about what's going to be happening here in the next, I assume it's going to be a full Voidstar, so in the next 15 minutes. So first of all, Voidstar here is of course the only Warzone where a team's ability to fight is tested at the maximum level, and the reason for this is because the layout of this Warzone. The only objective here, like planting a bomb on the doors, is only possible if you somehow either control almost the whole team of your opponents or kill them. And basically controlling the whole team is rarely possible. There is, unless of course you are going against someone who is considerably weaker in level, but these 2 teams are definitely pretty much equal to one another, so they will not be falling for any kinds of traps. So the only other option left for you is of course to fight it out, and this is where your tactical and personal skills are put to the maximum level. Voidstar is a Warzone you have to play if you are basically interested in fighting only and not interested in controlling or something like that. Even that is possible too, but the current meta game calls for a one major fight. But then again, like I'm telling you that it's all about the fighting. But then again, I keep coming up with different scenarios in my head. But anyway, let's get back into the game. It looks like Infinite Darkness is actually doing double tank, triple healer at the doors at this western point, and Little Dose 50 is not doing any fancy splits or whatever. They're just going at the doors in their 8-man setup. And what's interesting here about the Infinite Darkness is that they decided they want a sniper to defend east instead of Shadow. They want these two tanks here. They are not sure they can protect their healers effectively, but at the same time they have to cut their DPS, and this is something that can play against their team severely. Let's face it, guys. It's incredibly hard to plant a bomb against a well prepared team, against a team who can cooperate, who can properly manage their player resources. All these things definitely make planting a bomb impossible. So what happens here? A lot of the times teams just go for the kills, and this becomes the deciding factor in whoever wins a Voidstar or loses it. So, as I'm predicting, and you can see it on your screens right now, these teams are basically fighting it out on equal terms. Of course, you have to remember that Infinite Darkness is fighting 7 against 8. This always puts the defender in a tighter spot. You know, it's always tough, of course. You are a little bit overwhelmed by the enemies, and basically your composition here is underwhelming. And look at that, Infinite Darkness is wiped out basically, but at the same time the door opens, a lot of CC come in, but Little Dose 50 were not really prepared to plant, and the door opened quite fast, so that wipe of the Infinite Darkness's defenders did not really affect them that much. But then again, like I was saying, there is kills. If you cannot plant the doors, the game is decided by the amount of kills. Whoever has more, or rather whoever has more deaths loses, and this is what quite often it boils down to. So this is primarily the most important, probably the most important thing here that both teams have to be considering. And as you can see, both teams are getting kills, but of course Little Dose 50 here having larger numbers, having a lot better DPS. They will be putting a lot more pressure, of course, on Infinite Darkness, who will always be on the back foot until their attack round begins. So far, though, Infinite Darkness is doing a great job at defending, but at the same time, look at all of these CC. They don't want to stack like this. They don't want to be CC like this. Oh, this can spell doom for them, but so far they're doing it fine. It looks like the DPS of Little Dose 50 just prefer to go for a pack of their enemies for groups, and sometimes it's the right thing to play, especially when you got a couple of focus players on your team, but maybe they should direct their attention more to the healers on that team. So far, though, it doesn't feel like their healers pressured too much. Look at this clump up. This would be dangerous actually for Lethal Dose 50 if only Infinite Darkness had a little bit more DPS, but for whatever reason, and you know, I cannot help but wonder if having a sniper defending eastern doors will come back and bite Infinite Darkness in softer parts of their bodies, because you know, it's a little bit of a misconcept. A lot of teams I've seen recently sometimes prefer to go even 3 tanks triple healer, but contrary to what you may believe, it doesn't exactly make you survive more. It effectively reduces your survivability, because there is no way you can make attackers retreat from your position when you do not deal damage to them. All you can do is retreat and try to out-heal damage. But remember, damage is currently let's be fair here. Damage here right now will always be better than healing, especially when you face something as critical as Smash, focus players, rage players, and snipers. It will always be considerably more than healing. Thus, if your team does not output damage to make attackers worry about their own safety, you will not live longer, because it will just keep pressing and pressing and pressing, and that's exactly what's going on right here. Watch Infinite Darkness's movements. They keep on retreating. They're trying to find safe spots. They're trying to maybe do something about the Lethal Dose 50. But if you have been following Lethal Dose 50's positioning throughout this whole round, they basically stood in the middle without moving much. They simply kept killing and killing and killing Infinite Darkness. Sometimes a member or two of Lethal Dose 50 fell, but did that affect them? No, they kept just standing in the middle, and that was basically 6 DPS. I'm not sure, did they run a tank in this set? I think not, actually. They didn't have a tank in this setup. They basically ran 6 DPS, 2 healers. They didn't need a tank because the current setup of Infinite Darkness just couldn't pressure anything. If Infinite Darkness maybe had a little bit more DPS, they could have pressured healers into retreat, and that, of course, in return would have made Lethal Dose 50's DPS to back out a little bit. But okay, the sides have reversed. Right now we've seen Kate's respecking, as well as I'm pretty sure a lot of other players will be respecking and changing specs. Will Lethal Dose 50 be doing something similar to what Infinite Darkness did? But no, they will be going for the standard Shadow Defender, and that's exactly what happens. And look at that. Lethal Dose 50's Sage respect into heals as well. So basically they're defending with a single tank, triple healer, and triple DPS here, while their Shadow is staying east, defending it properly in a tank spec. Well, just the standard. And I don't know. This, I feel, will work considerably better, but at the same time, look at that, this counter healer for a Lethal Dose 50 goes down, and that might be a problem, really. Lethal Dose 50, you should be watching your scoundrel with a little bit more care, because that would probably be your most important healer. Of course, every other healer is important, but the scoundrel most probably is the most effective one of all three right now, of course. Oh wait, of course, Lethal Dose 50 has 2 Scoundrel Healers. I was thinking about Infinite Darkness, who has each one of every healing class, and they were defending, okay. Anyway, interesting stack from Infinite Darkness there. They got controlled, good play from Lethal Dose 50 here, and let's see, Lethal Dose 50 is falling too, one by one, not exactly as fast as Infinite Darkness was, but I can't help but wonder, there was 2 moments in the first round where Infinite Darkness was almost wiped out, and I'm interested to know. And oh god, what a stack here. I understand that, of course, Kates and others were trying to make the best use of these AoE heals, but at the same time that gave the opportunity to Infinite Darkness's smashers to just come in and do maximum damage, even though Lethal Dose 50 controlled them in return. But you should avoid stacking that much, especially on the defender's round. Every unnecessary point of damage you take works against you much worse than it normally would. Not sure how to explain it better, but basically don't stack, just believe me, it doesn't work in your favor. But I'm sure these guys understand it. Quite a good control on the Infinite Darkness's players, but look at that, these guys got full resolve now. They just going in like huge, big, bad train. They're trying. Oh my god, I do not want to be that healer right now, desperately trying to keep him alive. And he does stay alive. Well, that's a good job from Lethal Dose 50 right there. And look at that, maybe Lethal Dose 50 is a little bit overextending. They should be. That might bite them in the back, because you know, going so far away from the doors, that might just feed them the kills. And seriously, the count here is each kill is important. And look at them! Oh my God, these Marauders just came in and smashed with a full resolve. Good control from Lethal Dose 50, but at the same time, once these DPS from Infinite Darkness recuperated, they just went in without any resistance, simply because you couldn't control them anymore with the full resolve, and they smashed. And that smash was damn dirty. Whoever was in the receiving end definitely will need some facelift or even a full plastic surgery now. But anyway, 3 minutes 20 seconds remain in this round, and Lethal Dose 50 definitely holding steady. I would even say their defense is working considerably better than what Infinite Darkness was showing here. And like I said, Infinite Darkness didn't really need double tank, triple healer, simply because, yes, of course, maybe their healers felt more safe having 2 guards. It was easier to heal double tanks and maybe DPS, but it was all illusionary. Simply because, well, who would be afraid of 3 healers and 2 tanks, even if they focus someone down? Nobody. You need strong DPS to pressure enemy healers, even in the defenders round. Simply because that would make enemy DPS lay off your backlines. It would make them turn around and help their healers, because, you know, healers die, everyone dies. And, you know, attackers have that trend of stacking together. Just look at what's happening to the Infinite Darkness right now. And if you have solo DPS here, you can definitely make them think twice before doing something like that again. Still, though, Infinite Darkness is trying to make something happen here, but it's no longer a game if it's even ever been of objectives. Here, what's important is the kills, and that's what they are trying to get. But doesn't look like they still have enough damage. I'm not sure. If only I could. I could quickly go through all the Infinite Darkness's players and see all of their specs. For example, well, I don't know. I personally think they definitely respect all their Carnage Marauders into focus. They try to maximize their damage, but still, it feels like they're a little bit at least behind even the current setup of Lethal Dose 50 here. We'll see, though. 1 minute remains in this game. I can't help but wonder what will happen. This is definitely a game of kills. I've already said it several times, but forget about objectives. It's all about every kill matters, and this is what Lethal Dose 50 should be thinking right now. They still keep overextending, even though usually it's a Sentinel who has all his cooldowns up, and if something goes wrong, can easily escape and stay alive. But still, you know, every kill right now can turn victory into defeat. 25 seconds remain in this round, but you know, if usually when playing Regs you would relax thinking, whatever, they will not plant the bomb. Here you cannot relax. If anyone falls, it might be defeat for a Lethal Dose 50, but of course it's still hard to say. But I feel as if Lethal Dose got themselves considerably more kills than Infinite Darkness is getting right now. 10 seconds, and let's see who actually wins here. I'm interested. GGs are called. Republic forces. That means Lethal Dose 50 actually won that game. And let's go ahead and see the stats. Let's pause here for a second, and immediately from the numbers you can see that Lethal Dose 50 are considerably ahead in DPS, and basically a single tank was able to do almost as much as the two tanks of Infinite Darkness here. So their tactic on the defenders round maybe did not work out as good as they wanted. Also, Commando some hacks unfortunately maybe did not perform to the best of his ability. The damage is a little bit underwhelming, as well as the heals are, well, actually they are pretty similar to the Sage, so hold that thought. I would forget what I said just now. Basically they performed similarly, so it's okay for the hybrid members who have to respec according to the situation, so it's pretty fine. Still, like I said, the damage is definitely in favor of Lethal Dose 50, and I'm really wondering if having Shadow defend in the first round would have helped Infinite Darkness somewhat more. Maybe they could have held Lethal Dose 50's pressure. I don't know. Anyway, that was quite an interesting game, and like I said, Voidstar is such a map where you have to utilize your composition. This is basically a check for your team's battle readiness. I don't know if that makes sense, but it checks all levels of your preparedness for actual fighting. It checks team skills, communication skills, personal skills, all of them, they are checked here. And if your team is lacking in composition, if your team is lacking in proper communications, if some of your members are lacking some personal skills, it all becomes apparent here. So in this regard, Voidstar may be as well at the best Warzone to actually see teams for what they are. And we've seen that these two teams are pretty equal. Now let's actually count deaths and see by how much Lethal Dose 50 were able to win here. Let's see, Lethal Dose 50 died 2, 3, 7, 12, 15, 17 times. At the same time, Infinite Darkness died 7, 12, 13, 17, right, 17, 22, 23 times, so 17 against 23. Infinite Darkness died 6 times more. Infinite Darkness's players got taken down 6 times more. In terms of healing, it's pretty equal, I should say. Maybe a little bit in favor of Lethal Dose 50. And well, I don't know, it might be an array of things, complexity of things that helped Lethal Dose 50 win. First of all, it's an interesting decision to keep a sniper there. Yes, a sniper has snipers, gunslingers have that buff now while they're in cover, ready for anything that allows them to see stealth from quite afar, so it's pretty hard to actually take a sniper by surprise. At the same time, well, I can kind of see the mindset behind this decision. Infinite Darkness were banking that if in case their opponents will start breaking through, a Shadow can always hide somewhere and interrupt until their team is out. But when you're banking for something such as that, you are already setting yourself in a loser's position, because you have to stay strong. If you expect your team to be wiped out, well, that's not a great thing, of course, and not a great way to play Voidstar here. And of course, at the same time, Shadow, I'm pretty sure, kept a phase walk marker on the eastern side, so in case in case Sniper got himself a company, Shadow would be able to momentarily teleport around and stuff. And that's kind of an interesting approach to that, but did it play out for as Infinite Darkness had planned? That's another matter here. Just overall, I don't think, for whatever reason, Sniper or Infinite Darkness here is considerably behind. Yes, he of course sat in defense the whole first. Well, maybe that. Yes, forget about it. Of course, since he sat the whole first round, he did not really do a lot of DPS. So actually, Sniper did a pretty good job for basically participating in the game for only one round. So anyway, guys, actually, I want to ask you a question. What do you think was the problem? Or maybe not the problem. What do you think was the thing that allowed Lethal Dose 50 come out on top in this scenario? And remember, this scenario was pretty complex. Infinite Darkness attempted some fancy tactics in the Defenders round of theirs, and then they attempted an all-out approach on the doors, but still it looked like Lethal Dose 50 was actually good at holding them. So I would like to really hear your opinions on what happened in this game. That would be fun to know. Let's discuss this. Anyway, I think it's time. That game was really great. Both of these teams were pretty equal, and you know, this, I remind you, this is a bootleg game. Nobody will be seeing it anywhere unless I decide to cast more. There are quite a few more matches of Lethal Dose 50 against Infinite Darkness. And they're all very close. They're insanely close matches, and they're all entertaining to watch. But I don't know. Do I pause them up? Anyway, these two teams, at least in the games I saw them play, were very close to one another. They're on a very equal level. And it's hard to say who will win, and then, you know. Just thinking for a second of on these two teams and how it turned out to be like this. Anyway, that was one of the most entertaining Voidstars I've seen as of late. These two teams are definitely worthy of watching and commentating on. And they're all nice guys too. You can't say anything bad about them. They're all nice guys. Anyway, both teams both these teams played just an awesome game. I thank these guys for such an awesome entertainment, and I'm wrapping up this video. Don't forget to subscribe at my youtube.com/dailypvp, this channel you're probably watching this video on. Also follow me on twitch.tv/dailypvp for some live action, I don't know, gameplay footage, me being owned in Warzones and other stuff. A lot of fun. Hop on, let's chat sometime. I'm always interested in meeting new people and stuff. Also Facebook and Twitter, both at /dailypvp, as well as maybe share this video on your social media. Maybe some of your friends will get interested. It will always be great to grow this community some more. And I think this is it. Let the credits roll. Some additional information there. I'm bailing out, and I will see you all, guys and girls, in my next video. Stay safe and healthy. I'll check on you later.